Hey, what's up, guys? If anyone is out there watching, let me know if the audio is working. Awesome. Cool. Looks like we've got one one viewer here, so that's all right. Either way, I was gonna do this, so whether I have one person reviewing or just myself. One second, guys. All right, cool. I think we've got that fixed up. I was hearing myself two or three times there. So yeah, so all I was planning on doing tonight was just kind of making a quick little video and sharing kind of the process a little bit, basically, of what I was planning to record here. So yeah, as you can see, this is kind of some of the other part of the video process that I am already put together. So now I'm just gonna kind of finish up and shoot a little bit of the actual like close up shots and stuff like that, and then put it all together and share it later this week. Probably gonna get an echo there in a second, but I think I got that. I think I got that fixed out. So all right, cool. So this is a pair of chukka boots from Acme Shoemaker, and there's obviously like a lot of reviews that I've done, and I feel like at least for me they kind of get a little repetitive from time to time. So the plan with this one was do something a little bit different, which was basically talk about why I think this is pretty much like not the perfect chukka boot, but the perfect chukka boot of this order, in the sense that this is exactly what I wanted, and there's really like nothing about it that I would change. It fits great. All the details really kind of come together really well. The bottom work, super clean and functional, and kind of like talk through like the thought process of how all those details came together really well. And I think the other aspect of that is how well Acme actually went ahead and executed it, or how well they actually put all those details together to make a very well balanced, but kind of what's the right word here? So robust chukka boot without making it overly chunky, or too kind of like bulbous for a a round toe casual ankle boot, especially with the Norwegian construction there. Let's see if there we go. For those watching, what you guys have any particular thoughts about Norwegian construction? Questions or opinions on what uh what your favorites are, as far as like the half construction that kind of stops right here versus like the 270, which is shown here, that stops back there, or the 360-degree Norwegian construction. Any opinions or favorites on any of those? Hey, Antonio. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Would you guys, if any of the folks that are on here now saw the videos um over the last couple of weeks with Thon, Mr. Renworks, and with Ashwin, Welted Wear, any particular thoughts about any either of those so far? Let's see if I can switch that up. Looks like the view's going to stay the same. That's all right. We'll get better at it. So yeah, so this was started off by talking about how I was gonna actually kind of talk through the review or put together the review, and then I got distracted myself, which definitely happens a lot. So I'm gonna finish kind of brushing these up real quick, and then I'll kind of walk through a brief part of the review, or at least the part of the review that I would share in this layout or in this setting, because the rest, kind of like I shared before, is going to come from the content that's already being made or already been put together in the in some of the other shots that I took, some of the close-ups and some of the outdoor shots. Um, Not that there's like a secret behind it, but you can see it's pretty shaky. So like probably like 15 minutes of filming like this kind of turns into like 20 seconds of actual like usable video. And then same thing kind of with with some of this like slow-mo content there. So um I'll just kind of film this piece here and talk through. Looks like I cut myself off there. Hold on a second. That's probably better. But yeah, so yeah, like I'll just kind of actually like talk through everything, walk through the shoes like this, and actually kind of show the shoes here, talk through like the details of it, go over the upper, talk a little bit about some of the ideas that I had, some of the reasons why I uh chose some of the details that I did, and then kind of sprinkle in some of the other content that you see throughout this section, along with some photos and kind of some like supplemental visuals to just kind of like break up the monotony. That's not what I meant to say. The monotony of me just kind of holding the shoe and spinning it around, because yeah, like how many times can I spin it around and still make that interesting to watch? So that's kind of the whole idea behind it, but always looking to kind of like change things up and like keep it fresh. Um I think it's cool just to make it easier to watch the videos, but more so just even for myself, because I don't know, if I just sit here and make videos of me holding shoes like this, they get kind of boring after a while. So sprinkling in some other visuals of it definitely helps to kind of just make it a little more fun to make them, I think, which is kind of the whole point. But hey, Danny, let's see. Don't have any shoes or boots with Norwegian's Welt, but I believe I would want a 360. Yeah, let me actually, while you bring that up, let me see here. So hopefully, and let me actually switch back. All right, cool. Probably should have gotten a different camera angle here. Probably should have gotten a different camera angle here so it could actually like fit a pair of boots in the frame. But oh well, too late. We'll have to do that next time. So yeah, like the 360-degree Norwegian or Tyrolese, whatever term you kind of prefer, at least for me, is also kind of my favorite right now. Obviously that's changed because I think when I first got a pair, my favorite at the time was the 180-degree, and I just like that because it was like a super strong contrast that really like kind of showed off the narrow waist and kind of gave like a really cool stance to the shoe where it was like super chunky up front and then super sleek in the back. But I think the more that like novelty kind of like wore off, the more I started to really just kind of appreciate like the cleanliness and like the cohesion. I guess it's kind of like a fancy word, unnecessary for it, but the cohesion that like this provides, where it's just really clean. It really kind of stays true to like the functional aspect of the Norvegese, Tyrolese, Norwegian Welt, and it kind of creates a really like seamless and kind of complete look. And I think this 270 does as well. I think definitely 270 or 360 are the options that I would stick with at this point. But it's not to say like I don't still really enjoy the pair that I have that is a half Norwegian. So get that one out of the way. I gotta get a little bit better at figuring out how to just kind of stay focused on what I'm saying I'm gonna say, and then kind of following along with comments. And there's only 3 comments, so like we'll have to obviously like fix that, but I'll have to probably figure out a better way to keep up with them. So yeah, so obviously like this is not going to, I probably shouldn't like brush as I'm talking here because that's just not going to be that pleasant to listen to. But yeah, so I think the whole idea of this video that I am making right now is not necessarily to do another review, but just kind of like talk through how this chukka boot is, something that I would be confident in saying is like the perfect chukka boot for what it is, because there's nothing that I would change about it, and I really enjoy wearing it. It fits extremely well, and I can say that and believe that is 100% true, but still, like, at the same time, think that there are better chukka boots out there, and that I may even have one that I like better, but that for what this chukka boot was intended to be, like, it's perfect. So it's not the most elegant way of saying it, but I think that was kind of that is kind of the intent or the goal of the video whenever it gets put together. But yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I think this is me just kind of rambling on a bit, kind of ranting a little bit. I think that's like one of the biggest, whether it's not misconceptions, but one of the biggest kind of yeah, we'll just go with misconceptions throughout the community, is just that some folks find it really difficult to like say like this is perfect, and also say that like this is perfect. It seems like the community as a whole is always looking to either say like one is better than the other or one has to be superior to the other. It's not possible for me to think that this is perfect and this is perfect at the same time, because for whatever reason, the thought is just that can't be true. And the person that's saying that is just saying that because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But I think that really like couldn't be further from the truth, because in my eyes, like if I were to always say one thing is wrong or one's better than the other, it's such a difficult game to play like that, because there's so many nuances once you get into like boots and shoes like at this level, that it's really hard to compare even like ranges from the same maker. Like each range has its own purpose and intention. So like even though a range is like ready to wear versus bespoke, like it could still be an amazing ready to wear shoe. It's just that it's intended to not be the same quality or the same level of finishing as the bespoke shoe. Um, and I don't know, I'm a little more uh annoyed maybe by some of those like ongoing conversations that happen from time to time, but I think it's something that took me a little while to kind of come around on that idea, because I was always like, well, which maker's better, this one or this one, this one or this one? Like, why? Like, tell me like who did this better? Like, who made a better stitch and why was it better? If I can get them back in focus. And I think I came around to the point that like it doesn't really matter, because like it wasn't like a either or, and it wouldn't be. It would more so just be like, these are both great options. Which one's the right option for me? Hey Isaac, let me see here. Corthay. I don't I don't know like too much about like the backstory, or say backstory, like the history of that brand. Um yeah, I mean I think they have a great reputation. I don't know if they're considered like a heritage brand. I don't know if that's like the right terminology for that, but I think they kind of fall in that um in my eyes, they kind of fall in that range of shoemakers or brands that have a very strong like lineage as far as like the country that they're made in and the materials and how they source them. And it has a very like strong ecosystem around it, to where it's a great, a great shoe, but there is that uh kind of like flex point or inflection point, sorry, where did I say inflection point, where you kind of like exceed like the value that you can really get from a shoe like that, if it's $2,000 sometimes, I think. So I think in my eyes, like I always kind of like become partial to the artisanal makers like these guys, as opposed to those like really robust brands that have been around for like centuries and have a lot of like just like almost like bureaucracy built into it, to where the price kind of like falls into kind of supporting that larger ecosystem, which isn't like unjustified, but that's just my personal opinion, and where I tend to lean. So that's the very long way of saying no, I don't own any, but I wouldn't say they're bad shoes. I just wouldn't necessarily make them a top choice for something that I was looking at. But if like I think they have a really unique aesthetic and patina, so I think that definitely gives them a leg up, as far as like if that's what you're looking for, like it's very very likely that like that's the option, and that's perfectly okay. Obviously, like I think that's the whole point, is making sure that like what you're looking for, and finding the person or the shoemaker that does that. Getting the wrong shoe out of the frame here, man. Whoops. Probably end up having to record a little bit after this to actually make the video that I was trying to talk about making, but there I go brushing again and talking. I think hopefully over the next week I should have another camera, so that you don't just see somebody's like hands, but like my face and the shoes will be on here, which will be nice, I think. And hopefully we'll get some more like regular videos with Ashwin and with Thon, hopefully some other folks as well, because I think, at least for me, like that's really like that is really exciting or really fresh, and I enjoy making that kind of stuff, because I don't know, I mean, like I said earlier, like it's easy to kind of get bored with just holding a shoe like this and all you see is the shoe and hands. So anytime I can keep things fresh for myself, change it up, and kind of challenge myself from either like, can I even like make a video like that, or can I put together something like this? Like that's always really fun as well. But then also having a different format or a different opportunity to bring in other views besides mine, because my views are all based off of information that I've learned and discussed with others. So I think the more that I can like bring those like actual views and sources into the channel would only like keep me entertained, but it would also help me learn more, and then, kind of help everyone that watches it get that information like directly from the person that I'm getting it from, which I think is cool. So let me see if I can actually. Oh, excuse me. Trying to actually see how I can get the list of folks to come up here. You wouldn't think it would be like that difficult, but I guess it's probably got too many windows open here, huh? All right. So, anybody new join the video? Any questions while I am here and got time to kill? I'm just kidding. I don't really have that much time to kill, but hey Danny. Yeah, so these are Acme Shoemaker. They are I don't know, are you familiar with Acme Shoemaker? I know. I guess it depends on the videos that you've watched on here, but there's quite a few on the channel about them. At least I have like 6 pairs. They are kind of like a small bespoke shoemaker out of China, which have really been maybe like a year and a half. So like they make really fantastic shoes. I think uh maybe I can include this in the video that I keep claiming I'm gonna make, but um I think they make like fantastic shoes. I think like their biggest opportunity is to really kind of like steer into their style and not necessarily rely so much on excuse me, like replicating or reproducing, I guess is a kind way of saying it, like styles that their clients are asking, like, hey, like I really like how that shoemaker does that loafer. Can you make me that? Instead of just doing that, like, how can they take that inspiration and turn it into like their signature style and make some tweaks so that no matter when you see an Acme shoe, like it's pretty clear it's an Acme shoe, which I think this is fantastic, but I don't think this is quite there. Like this could probably get associated with a number of shoemakers if you're just looking at it like this, which is perfectly fine. But I think like they do such fantastic work that like once you kind of hit that point, like then it's really kind of differentiating yourself by creating that signature look or style, so that folks, I guess, would try to start like emulate the shapes and the patterns that you're making, as opposed to kind of sticking to you trying to emulate the shapes and the patterns that they are. Cool. Well, we'll probably like wrap this up in a few minutes. Cause yeah, it always happens. Always up. Like I'm gonna start making a video here. I'll be done in no time, and then it's like an hour later, and I haven't even started making the video. So hey, Isaac. Yeah, the Antonio makes this boot, the Proteo boot, which is like super up close and personal to the camera there. If I can back that up a little bit. There we go. So he makes this boot. The chukka boot is made by Acme. Probably should have picked a better angle here for next time, but that's all right. We'll figure that part out. I am going to wrap it up there. I know we've got some folks joining and watching, which I really appreciate. This was completely kind of a random last minute thing, so I wasn't really sure how it would go. And 10, 11. Whoa, we broke double digits. Obviously that's not that impressive, but I think it's cool, no matter how many people it is, just to actually like interact with folks like this. So we'll kind of wrap it up here. Any last questions, definitely drop them in. I'll try and get to them before we wrap this up. Otherwise, continue to put the questions or comments in the in the video, and I'll either get to them afterwards or kind of over the next couple of days as I finish this video up and post it. So yeah, for sure. Thanks again for everyone that's joined and kind of participated in sharing some comments and questions. Like I said, hopefully I've got a little better setup coming so that it'll make it a little more natural to kind of interact with everyone. And we definitely have some, at least what I think, some cool reviews or shoemakers that I'm hoping to, I don't know if I'd say feature a little bit more, but maybe like just talk about a little bit more. I think there are a lot of shoemakers that have been around for a while that just, for one reason or the other, haven't gotten probably like the growth or visibility that they would if they were I guess more prominent. I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool to kind of focus and share some of those shoes and shoemakers. Thanks, Danny. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Awesome. Well, I'll wrap it up here. I'm going to get this video finished up. Hopefully I'll share this, what's today, Wednesday? Maybe by Friday. And yeah, excited to kind of do some more of these lives, some more interview style or podcast style chats maybe, and just kind of take this a little bit off of like the desk where it's just like me doing this and get more people kind of interacting, whether that's on video or just like we're doing here. So I hope everyone has a good night, and I will see everyone later this week. Thanks.